kita memulai acara kita hari ini, mohon kerjasamanya ya. Sudah lihat ya ada di sini ya, kita ada acara apa, bedah buku. Jadi mohon kerjasama dari kelas 7 sampai kelas 9 dan acara ini bersifat Zoom. Jadi teman-teman kita yang ada di bilingual juga mengikuti acara ini. Mohon kerjasamanya dari semuanya untuk supaya acara kita berjalan lancar, baik ya. Bagi yang ingin bicara, ada waktunya, oke? Tolong kasih kesempatan untuk yang di depan untuk menyampaikan ilmu-ilmunya bagi kita semuanya. Oke, ini Matthew oke ya? Oke. Baik, acara kami serahkan ke Miss Cynthia sebagai MC kita.
Okay, can I have your attention? Yeah. Yeah. I will not start if you're not ready. And if you're not ready, it will not start. And if it's getting late, it means you're getting late to go home too. So it's your decision whether you want to calm down and join the event today. Okay, good afternoon everyone. Selamat siang. Okay, I know it's right after lunch and you have your last 2 lessons and we're going home after this, but we have 1 hour left to have an inspirational talk show with someone today. So, before we start, I want you to give your loudest scream and loudest applause. Welcome to Miska Aoki. Hello. Okay, now before we start our show, a quick question. I want you to just raise your hand. Is there anybody here wants to study like in Oxford? Stanford? Monash? Anyone? Yeah, so many, right? Okay. Put your hands down. So now, today, our guests will give some tips and tricks and how to prove a big dream paired with hard work and the right mindset that really can take you incredibly far. Okay, so today we have the honor of hosting an inspirational talk that I believe every single one of you will walk from feeling a little curious and a little more motivated. Now, we also would like to say hi to our friends, our students from Bilingual SMBK4 in the Zoom. Please say hi. Okay, so they're going to join us through Zoom throughout the entire show. Now, let me introduce you to our remarkable guest, which is Miska Aoki. enough. I will explain a short, brief introduction about Miska Aoki. So, she is first recognized for her outstanding achievements in international mathematics and science Olympiads. Miska Aoki adalah seorang public figure dan global education advocates yang dinobatkan sebagai tokoh muda inspiratif oleh Kementerian Pemuda dan Olahraga Indonesia serta Kementerian Pertahanan Republik Indonesia. Miska juga kerap terpilih menjadi keynote speaker di berbagai platform internasional bergengsi. Salah satunya adalah ASEAN Summit and United Nations Climate Conference. Namun, perjalanan Miska tidak berhenti di sana. Bersama adiknya, Devon K. Enzo, mereka terus membangun berbagai pencapaian over the years. Di usia yang hanya 15 tahun, Devon berhasil diterima dan menjadi mahasiswa tahun kedua di University of Melbourne, salah satu universitas terbaik di Australia. Sementara itu, Miska baru-baru ini diterima di Oxford University dan Stanford University, dua universitas paling bergengsi di dunia. Dengan pencapaian yang luar biasa, Miska juga berhasil diterima di kelima universitas di Inggris yang ia lamar. Sekaligus menerima tawaran dari Stanford, salah satu institusi paling selektif di dunia dengan tingkat penerimaan hanya sekitar 3,6%. Miska juga memiliki IQ di atas top 0,1% di dunia dan merupakan anggota Mensa Indonesia dan Mensa Australia. Namun, di balik berbagai pencapaiannya, Miska tetap rendah hati dan melihat setiap kesempatan sebagai ruang untuk terus belajar. Hari ini, Miska hadir bersama kita bukan hanya untuk membagikan pencapaiannya, tapi juga untuk berbagi proses, pelajaran, dan pesan bahwa mimpi besar selalu dibangun melalui keberanian, disiplin, dan ketekunan. That is a short introduction about Miska. Now, I would like to start our show today by afternoon prayer, opening prayer. Dipersilahkan untuk Ibu Erna.
Cek. Selamat siang semuanya. Buah manggis, buah kelapa. Yang selama acara senyum manis dapat hadiah. Oke, kita akan mulai acara kita, tapi kita berdoa dulu. Demikian juga anak-anak kami yang di bilingual. Mari kita berdoa. Puji syukur kami panjatkan kehadirat-Mu Tuhan Yesus, di mana pada siang hari ini Kau masih memberi kekuatan kepada kami untuk kami mendengarkan dan menimba ilmu di tempat ini Tuhan, dari pengalaman-pengalaman bahkan dari ilmu pembicara kami siang hari ini. Biarlah kegiatan bermanfaat ini menjadi pengalaman bagi kami juga untuk kami lanjutkan di kemudian hari di dalam hidup kami masing-masing. Tuhan Yesus berkati kami semuanya Tuhan yang ada di tempat ini. Biarlah semuanya bersama-sama menikmati di dalam sukacita untuk hari ini. Kami serahkan seluruhnya ke dalam tangan-Mu Tuhan. Biarkanlah acara ini berjalan dengan baik seturut dengan kehendak-Mu. Terpuji nama-Mu Tuhan sekarang sampai selama-lamanya. Amin. Kami serahkan ke Miss Cynthia.
Oke, terima kasih untuk Ibu Ernawati Jayasityo SPD atas opening prayer-nya. Selanjutnya, before we go any further, it's my pleasure to invite someone very special to say a few words to open this event officially. Izinkan saya mengundang Ibu Kepala Sekolah, Ibu Debi Paskawati STP MM untuk memberikan kata sapaannya.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, okay, thank you for this time. Yeah, first of all, we would like to say praise to the Lord because only by His grace we can meet each other in good condition. We can meet with Miska, Papi, and Daddy. Yeah, praise to the Lord for the beautiful moment. And also for this time, I would like to say thank you so much for our special guest today. Miska, thank you so much, Miska. And also, thank you, Mommy and Papi Miska. Yeah, thank you for joining with us. Thank you for come to SMPK 4. Okay. And then, at this time, we would like to say thank you also for Seroki, Buriana, Bu Novel, and Sir Rafael, and all people who are involved in our activities. Book unlock. Thank you for you have already anything for prepare these activities. Thank you everyone, and thank you also for our students. Thank you for joining, and I hope you can follow all these activities very serious. Okay, and then what this time, Miska. Thank you again. Thank you for coming with us. We believe our students will receive very meaningful things for these activities. So our students, my students, I and all of teacher hope you follow this activity seriously. Okay? Yeah, Miska, Papi, and Mommy, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I think that's all. Enjoy your activities. God bless you.
Oke, selanjutnya Bu Debi akan menyerahkan tanda terima kasih dari sekolah SMP 4. Dipersilahkan Ibu Riana.
Mommy and Papi, Miska, can you join with us? Oh, Miska only? Yes, okay.
Oke, 1, 2, 3. Oke. Sekali lagi. Satu, dua, tiga. Oke. Okay, can I start The event. Remember, I will not start if you're not ready. Okay. So, thank you so much for Ma'am Debbie atas kata-kata yang sangat memotivasi. Thank you so much, Ma'am Debbie, for those wonderful words to start our afternoon activity right now. Now, we're going to move on to the second session, which is inspirational talk show with Miska Aoki. I will move here so I can ask the questions. Okay, good afternoon, Miska.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
So, Miska, it is lovely to have you here at our school
Thank
today.
you so much.
It's a pleasure. But before we begin, could you share a little bit about yourself and what you have been doing recently?
Of course. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. Nama saya Mishka Yuki. Saya 17 tahun, baru saja lulus SMA dan saya sangat bersyukur untuk bisa diterima in both Oxford and Stanford University. Throughout my journey, I came to learn that untuk bisa masuk universitas-universitas top dunia bukanlah hal yang mudah. There are many moments where I was confused on where to start, what to focus on, and whether or not I was doing the right things. Dan ini menjadi alasan yang mendorong saya untuk menulis dan menerbitkan buku ketiga saya, yaitu adalah The University Blueprint. And I just wanted to share the experience, the story, planning, decisions, and strategies, especially to students who might have felt the same way I once did. So sekali lagi terima kasih banyak kepada SMPK 4 Penabur, Ibu Kepala Sekolah, Bapak Ibu Guru, serta teman-teman semua. And it's really lovely meeting you all here today.
Thank you, Miska. Can we continue? Okay. Okay, the second question. Recently, Miska, you launched the University Blueprint book, right? Can you please tell us more about it?
Yes, of course. Jadi ini adalah buku ketiga yang saya tulis dan terbitkan. So the University Blueprint adalah suatu panduan for students who aspire to get into top universities. Jadi untuk teman-teman semua yang mungkin juga ingin masuk ke universitas top dunia, this book is for you. So I guess when people hear the word Oxford or Stanford, most of the time they only look at the end result. Padahal behind that, there are years of preparation, planning, dedication, persistence, and mistakes and decisions that I've made. And so I wanted to share the real story, dan bukan hanya the success story. So through this book, there is everything on how to create a strong university profile, from your academics in chapter 5, activities in chapter 6. There's also about competitions and essays in chapter 7 and 8, interviews in chapter 9, and most importantly, how to create a university profile with direction and purpose. So I wrote this book because I didn't want students to feel like they're walking blindly, and I want them to understand that big dreams are possible, but it must be built step by step with clarity and consistency.
Thank you, Miska, for the answer. The third question, what is the most common mistake students make during their university application journey?
I think banyak yang berpikir bahwa semakin banyak kegiatan, semakin banyak prestasi yang dikumpulkan, semakin baik. Padahal yang dicari top universities bukan sekedar quantity, melainkan adalah coherence atau koherensi. So, apakah semua yang kita lakukan itu saling connected satu sama lain? So, I like to call this benang merah. Apakah semua yang kita lakukan, baik itu adalah mungkin kompetisi, project, research, or activities, semuanya harus memiliki benang merah yang sama. Kalau untuk saya pribadi, dulu saya sering sekali ya mengikuti Olimpiade Matematika dan Sains tingkat internasional. Tetapi di saat saya kelas 9, I knew that I wanted to study and focus on law in relation to politics and the economy. Jadi, oleh karena itu, saya memutuskan untuk berhenti mengikuti lomba-lomba matematika meskipun saya suka. Kenapa? Karena saya tahu bahwa tidak ada lagi alasan untuk saya mengikuti kompetisi-kompetisi tersebut karena sudah tidak sejalan dengan arah yang ingin saya tuju. So there wasn't any point in me joining these competitions anymore because it wasn't in line with the major that I wanted to pursue. Oleh karena itu, saya mulai mencari dan mengikuti kompetisi-kompetisi tingkat internasional yang memang very closely related with the major that I wanted to pursue in university later on. Dan salah satunya adalah di mana I joined and won the Rise for the World competition and received scholarship from Rhodes Trust and Schmidt Futures towards the university of my choice. Dan sebenarnya ini juga saya discuss a bit di The University Blueprint. Jadi jika kita bisa lihat di halaman 20 dan juga ada di screen sini, ada contoh dua siswa, student A dan juga student B. Saya akan bacakan sedikit. So, student A has strong grades across all subjects, a long activity list spanning multiple clubs, volunteer communities, and competitions across entirely unrelated domains. Each item viewed individually appears impressive. Viewed together, they form no discernible pattern. There is no thread connecting the academic work to the extracurricular involvement, no essays that explain an intellectual direction, no recommendations that speak to depth of engagement in any particular domain. Now, if we look at student B, they have similarly strong grades, but every other element of the application pulls in the same direction. The extracurricular involvement deepens the same interests that is visible in the academic record. The independent projects extended questions raised in the classroom. The essays trace how a specific intellectual curiosity developed over time. And the recommendations confirm from independent sources the same qualities of engagement and initiative that appear anywhere else. So the profile is not necessarily longer or more decorated, but it is coherent. Jadi perbedaan dari student A dan student B adalah yang satu punya daftar kegiatan yang panjang, tetapi tidak nyambung satu sama lain. Well, if we look at student B, it shows a profile yang setiap bagiannya saling memperkuat. So universities are trying to find out whether our passions, interests, activities, and also research all align well dan memiliki suatu benang merah yang sama. So in this example, we would say that student B would then have a higher chance of getting accepted into the top universities.
Thank you so much, Miss Kai. It's a very detailed explanation. I think for grade 9, this is going to be a clue for you for finding out what university or how are you going to join a university in senior high school. Okay, the next question is, a lot of students apply to both US and UK universities, but the essays work very differently. Miss Ka, can you walk us through what changes between the two?
Yes, I think the main difference between a US essay and a UK essay is what they're trying to find out about us. Jadi kalau untuk universitas yang di US, mereka ingin mengenal diri kita as a person. So learning about our values, pengalaman kita, dan bagaimana kita bisa sampai di titik ini. Temanya pun bisa mengenai keluarga, atau mungkin tantangan yang kita alami, dan juga kejadian-kejadian penting yang telah membentuk diri kita as a person dan cara kita berpikir. Dan juga ada example di buku The University Blueprint, di mana di halaman 66 ada an example of the Stanford essay that I submitted. And so I will just read a little bit of the introduction. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. As I sat on my desk, my fingers glided like dancers tracing invisible steps. Lingering over the 714 times 130 text box, Calibri, size 11, lorem ipsum. These default texts act as unquestioned tradition, taken for granted scripts. How often do we rely on lorem ipsums to fill the unknown gaps of society and our place within it? Jadi, seperti yang kalian lihat, saya menggunakan pembukaan yang unik dan juga kreatif untuk membuat pembaca jadi penasaran. So, penyampaiannya dibuat semenarik mungkin, while at the same time still successfully putting the point across. Tetapi misalnya, if we look at the UK essay, it is drastically different. Kita bisa lihat di halaman 71. Dan di sini dijelaskan bahwa for the UK essay, the essay lebih fokus pada academic dan pengetahuan kita tentang subjek yang ingin kita pursue in university. Jadi mereka ingin tahu kenapa kita ingin mempelajarinya dan apa saja yang kita sudah pelajari di luar dari standar pelajaran di sekolah dan bagaimana kita mencapainya. Dan jika kita lihat di halaman 72 juga ada di screen, ada tabel which shows a comparison of the US essay and the UK essay. Jadi pada dasarnya, US essay lebih mementingkan perkembangan diri kita as a person dan bukan hanya perkembangan akademik saja. While for the UK essay, lebih fokus kepada perkembangan akademik.
Thank you, Miss Cal, for the answer again. So before I saw some of you raise hand that you want to attend Stanford, Oxford University. So I think this is going to be a really important point that even though university is still a long way, but you need to prepare start from now on, right, Miska?
Definitely.
You need to start to think about it, start from now on. As what Miska said, benang merah dari saat ini. You need to prepare the plan from now on. Okay, the next question. For students who aspire to enter top universities, what should they start preparing from now?
So for the preparation towards getting into the top universities, ada beberapa area yang memang harus kita persiapkan ya dari sekarang. Yang pertama adalah of course academic performance. Tentunya, no matter what, nilai itu adalah hal yang paling penting. Karena nilai kita yang kita dapat menunjukkan perkembangan akademik kita dari waktu ke waktu. Dan ini harus sudah dipersiapkan sejak SMP, terutama karena mulai kelas 9, university sudah melihat dan menilai perkembangan akademik kita. Now, the second thing is of course activities, di mana di The University Blueprint, Chapter 6, halaman 39, dijelaskan bahwa activities adalah kegiatan yang kita lakukan di luar sekolah. So these could be things like clubs, research, or personal projects. And in applying to these top universities, there are a few things that we need to look at. So juga ada di screen sebelah sini. So the first one is ownership. Ownership sangat penting, menunjukkan seberapa besar peran ataupun tanggung jawab kita dalam aktivitas ini. The second one, which is also di halaman 41, ada sustained engagement. Jadi apakah aktivitas ini dilakukan consistently atau hanya sekali-sekali saja? Dan seberapa lama kita sudah melakukannya? Now the third one is also here and it is alignment. Alignment itu tentunya sangat penting. So, apakah aktivitas yang kita lakukan is in line with our passion, goals, and of course, the major that we are applying towards. Jadi, passions, activities, and research yang kita lakukan itu harus memiliki benang merah yang jelas. Yang ketiga adalah essays. And as I've mentioned just a bit earlier, of course, the essays does differ, and what is weighed and what is valued does differ from one university to another. There's, of course, also standardized tests, di mana juga dijelaskan di buku The University Blueprint. Dan standardized test ini menilai kemampuan akademik kita dengan tes standar yang sama. Contohnya ada SAT, ACT, juga shown on the screen, yang menilai kemampuan akademik kita, dan juga ada IELTS and TOEFL yang menilai kemampuan bahasa Inggris kita. So, di buku ini, di halaman 77 sampai 118, ada banyak tips and tricks untuk mempermudah dalam mengerjakan standardized test ini. Jadi untuk teman-teman semua who's later maybe preparing to take these standardized tests, boleh banget coba lihat bukunya and jangan lupa untuk dipelajari. And of course, other than that, there are other things that we do need to prepare, like letter of recommendation or LOR. Dan ini adalah surat yang ditulis oleh guru pembimbing ataupun guru di sekolah. And di halaman 121 juga ada a table that compares strong versus weak recommendation letters. And of course, there's also interviews di chapter 11, halaman 131 sampai 141, that explains the difference between US interviews and UK interviews. Di mana untuk US interviews dilakukan oleh alumni dan bersifat lebih informal and personal, while for the UK interviews dilakukan oleh professorsnya themselves untuk menilai kemampuan akademik kita. So these are the main areas that are important in preparing yourself to get into top universities dan yang harus dilakukan dan dipersiapkan sejak sekarang.
Thank you, Miska, for the very gorgeous answer. Students, can we continue? Okay, so the next question, Miska, in your book, The University Blueprint, there are some tips and tricks for standardized tests, as what you say before. IELTS, TOEFL, ACT, and SAT. Can you teach one trick today to all of the students here?
Yes, of course. Maybe I could give a trick for SAT English. So as we know, SAT is one of the standardized tests. And SAT has two different sections. So the first one is mathematics and the second one is English. And of course, in English, there are a few things that it tests you about. So whether that is your vocabulary, logical reasoning, maybe pronouncing, also a lot of different things like grammar. And so the one that I wanted to focus on today is grammar. And there is a rule in grammar called Rule of Four. So when you have these two complete sentences next to each other, you must use exactly one of the four options to join them legally. Jadi ada 4 opsi ya. Yang pertama adalah period or full stop. Yang kedua adalah semicolon, titik koma. Ketiga adalah colon, which is used when the second clause explains or lists what the first one promised. Dan yang keempat adalah comma, which is used before fanboys. Now, fanboys is an acronym that helps you remember it much more clearly and easily. And it stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. And so the trick that I wanted to share with all of you here today can help you eliminate the wrong answers in less than 2 seconds. So if we look at the example on the screen, this is a typical SAT question testing your grammar in English. So I will read the question now. Navigating the dense jungles of Sumatra, researchers discovered a rare species of orchid, thought to be extinct for over a blank. Vibrant petals possessed a unique bioluminescent quality that fascinates the team. Then di sini ada 4 options of multiple choice. So in the SAT English section, they will give you a few choices to choose from. And the trick is, if there is one option that shows a period or a full stop, and another option that shows a semicolon atau titik koma, and the words are exactly the same, then you can eliminate both of them immediately. Sudah pasti dua-duanya itu salah. Kenapa? Karena period dan semicolon memiliki fungsi yang sama. Dan tidak mungkin SAT akan memberikan dua jawaban yang benar. So for all of you, if you've ever seen a period in one option and a semicolon in another, and the words are exactly the same, you can right away eliminate those two immediately. And there's so many more other tips and tricks that I do have in this book, whether that's SAT, ACT, IELTS, or TOEFL.
Thank you, Miska, for the tips and tricks on doing ACT tests, especially in the grammar section. Now, you can learn more tips and tricks when you get the book, Miska's book, the University Blueprint. You will have more tips and tricks that you can get in doing the tests, right? Okay, move on the last question. But before we move on the last question, please, grade 7. Grade 7. We're going to move on the last question. Miska, now that the book is finally here, what do you hope students will take away from the University Blueprint book?
I hope students will take away clarity. More than anything, I hope that when a student reads this book, they can feel that the path towards top universities is much more visible. Semoga teman-teman semua yang membaca buku The University Blueprint ini bisa makin percaya diri bahwa untuk masuk universitas top dunia itu possible. Because I think there are so many students, especially in Indonesia, who do have the ability, the ambition, and the drive. What they often lack is the right structure. So, saya berharap untuk students yang membaca buku ini, they can close the book and say that, okay, now I know what I'm building, and not just that I have to do so many other things. I hope this book serves as a reminder that the most important thing isn't being the most impressive person in the room, but it is about being the most genuinely yourself. Because the people who get accepted into top universities like Oxford or Stanford, they all have different stories and different backgrounds. But if there's one thing that unites them all the same, is that their story is unique, specific, and real. And so if there's even one student who reads this book today and thinks that, okay, now I know where to begin, then the book has done what I hope it would.
Thank you so much, Miska, for such an honest and inspiring conversation. I think a lot of us in this room just found a new role model, right? Can you please give applause to Miska?
Thank you so much, everyone. Terima kasih banyak.
All right, now, after having a very inspirational talk show or conversation with Miska, we're going to have the second session. We're going to move on the second session, which is a Q&A session. There are some students that are already having the questions for Miska. The first question, before having the question, there will be one student sharing about how did she feel or how did she think about the book University Blueprint. Come here, please. Caitlin.
Hi Kamishka, it's so great to see you. Perkenalkan, my name is Caitlin Mara, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being here and for taking the time to share your experiences with us today. So I've been reading your new book, which is The University Blueprint, and I really appreciate how you put your own experience and knowledge about university applications to help students like us grow even more. So I really appreciate that. And what I especially like is that the book doesn't just focus on getting into a good university, but also on understanding yourself and being intentional about the things that you do. So I'm really excited to share one thing that stood out to me from the book that you wrote. So what stood out to me was the idea of intellectual trajectory. Because at first, when I think about like university applications, I think that I need to become like a human resume or something, with good grades, winning competitions, essay leadership, and much more. But I think that book made me realize that it's not really about collecting as many achievements as possible. It's more about understanding why you're doing the things you're doing and how they connect to what you're actually interested in. Because it's really easy to join something just because it looks impressive. And then suddenly, instead of exploring our interests, it's like we're just collecting the achievements like Pokemon. Since I'm still in middle school, I don't think I need to have my whole future figured out yet. And I think what matters right now is more like exploring and finding what I actually care about. So my biggest takeaway is that preparing for university isn't just about building an application, but building a direction for yourself. I think that the book that you wrote was super helpful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much once again. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for reading the book and sharing a bit about what you found interesting. And I'm really glad that you get to take away some things from the book. And yes, I think that's a really important point and kind of a large misconception as well, that we have to collect as many achievements and, as many activities as we can. So I hope this book serves as a reminder for you and also for everyone here. And I really hope that it can be useful throughout your application journey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the first question. Thank you, Caitlin, for the sharing for the book. The boys. Okay, the first question comes from Edward. Can you please come forward?
Sebelumnya makasih udah dikasih kesempatan buat bertanya. Ini aku mau bertanya seputar mungkin yang berhubungan sama anak-anak juga sebagai pelajar. Apakah dari Kak Miska sendiri pernah merasa putus asa ataupun ada banyak kendala dan masalah dalam belajar?
Terima kasih banyak. Kalau untuk saya, I don't think I ever really thought of giving up. I think when you're focused towards building something or towards achieving a certain goal, you don't really have that time to just sit around and think about giving up. So all I think about is what's the next task, what's the next step, and what's the next improvement. Because if I've already invested years of hard work and learning towards something, then why would I stop halfway? That would mean that everything I've built up to that point loses momentum, and I don't want my past effort to go to waste.
Thank you,
Terima
Kak
kasih
Miska.
banyak. Yeah.
Okay, give applause to Edward. All right. The second question comes from Kaylee, grade 9. Please, Kaylee.
Hello, Kamishka. My name is Kaylee, and the question that I have for you today is that many students think they need to do many things to build a strong profile. From your experience, what actually matters more than just collecting achievements?
Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, I think this is one of the most common mistakes, that students overvalue volume much more than coherence. So I guess students tend to collect as many achievements as they can, as many activities as they can. But in reality, when universities are evaluating your application, they are not counting. They're trying to find out who you are, what you care about, and why. And so this is exactly the reason why, as I've mentioned before, I stopped joining math and science competitions. Because in 9th grade, I knew that I wanted to pursue law in regards with politics and the economy. And so there was really no point in me joining these competitions anymore, as it didn't align well with the major that I wanted to pursue. So I guess if I look at my university profile right now, every single major thing that I'm involved in, whether that's my research in women in politics, my social program, Sejuta Impian, or the way I approach competitions, All of them really align well, and it tells a story about a student who's passionate genuinely about leadership, education, and politics. Because I think this is one thing that a lot of students have to pay attention to, that admission officers is able to tell the difference between a student who did things because they cared and a student who did things because they thought they should. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kaylee, for the question. Now, our last question comes from Nathan. Nathan, please come upstairs. Okay. Once again, grade 7. You won't hear what they're saying if you keep on talking. Yeah. Okay. Nathan, please give your question to me.
Before that, thank you for giving me an opportunity to ask you a question. So I'll get straight to the point. Does having the passion into trying to get into the university that you want and actually engaging with the activities matter a lot? Because whether it's the person is gifted or not, if it's a yes, why then? And if it's a no, then why not?
Thank you so much for the question. I think no matter if you are naturally gifted or not, passion still genuinely matters. Because passion is the thing that persists your effort and your consistency and your resilience over time. So I guess, of course, we can't deny that being naturally gifted or having a talent does give you an easier starting point. But talent alone does not guarantee long-term achievement or success. And I believe that a person who has passion does have a higher chance and higher probability of keep improving and just keep on learning, even though they encounter a challenge. And universities really value this because a person who have genuine enthusiasm usually translates into someone who can create a real contribution to the community and would make the most out of their opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathan. Give applause to Nathan. All right, now we are having on this third session. We're going to move on to the third session, which is the last session. We're going to have a quiz challenge. It is a game. Yeah. The winner will also, of course, will get a prize from Miska. There are 3 teams that are already mentioned. For the students that I call, please come forward. Team 1, Gabriel Mason, 7A. Clarissa Amelia, 8B. Felicia Handojo, 7C. Jetro Jeuda, 9A. Team 2, Jonathan Austin, 7B. Freya Shannon, 8D. Jade Michelle Lukman, 9E. Theseus Andrelis, 8F. Team 3, Abraham Joseph Sinegar, 7B. Sebastian Josh, 8B. Gionel Tirtajaya, 9F. And Hope Ananda Garen, 9B.
All right, everyone. Now we will be moving on to our next session where we will have some fun with a quiz battle. Before we get started, we have already had all of the tables prepared and all of the teams as well. So we are now in group 1, 2, and group 3. Okay, so welcome to the quiz battle. Today, one of you 3 groups is going to walk away as the ultimate champion. The rules are simple. I will read each question out loud. Some of them will be shown in the screen right here. And your group can discuss together. And once you know the answer, please raise your hand. The first to raise your hand, the first to have a chance to answer. Later, Miss will help to choose which one raised their hands first. And if your answer is wrong, we will then give a different group another chance to answer. 1 point per correct answer. The group with the most points at the end wins. All right, so let's get into it. Are you all ready? So for the first question, here is your expression on the screen. Evaluate 1 minus 1 over the quantity of 1 minus 1 over the quantity of 1 plus 1. Please raise your hand once you know the answer, and you may scribble your working on the page. Let's see who can solve this first. Who can solve this question first?
I think the answer is -1.
Yes, that is correct. So congratulations to Group 3. You get 1 point. The answer is -1. Alright, no worries. For Group 1 and Group 2, there are still many questions to look forward to. Question number 2. Listen carefully. I am a man. If Larry is my son's father, what relationship am I to Larry? A. Okay, Group 1, do you have the answer? Yeah, you can.
Oh, is my son's father? What relationship am I to Larry is my son's father? If Larry is my son's father, I'm his,
What's the answer?
I'm C.
That is not correct.
Okay,
me. Group 1?
It's Larry.
Yes, that is correct. So Group 3 gets another point to your answer. Okay, so okay, there are still more questions. Question 3 is a math question. Calculate 21 squared minus 11 squared. Now there's a very easy trick to calculate this much more quickly. Let's see who answers this first.
The answer is 220.
That is not yet correct. Alright, let's see.
Any other want to answer? Dia terus grup.
Jawabannya 320. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so you get 1 point. Okay, now for question number 4. What is the goal of SDG 13? You know our sustainable development goals?
If you know the answer, raise your hand.
Yes, raise your hand if you know the answer. So SDG 1, no poverty. SDG 2, zero hunger. What is SDG 13? We can all try. There is no penalties for trying.
Anyone knows the answer? Nobody?
Maybe we can give it to the audience.
The audience?
know?
Anyone knows the answer? What is the goal of SDG 13? Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Yes, what is
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, the green jacket. The green jacket guy, come here.
It's for students students learn. For student studies.
That is not yet correct, so that is SDG 4. Maybe for the students from the bilingual online Zoom, if you would like to answer the question.
Bilingual students, do you want to answer?
Bilingual students?
Okay. The girl at the back, in front of Pak Istiari, can you come forward?
Perubahan iklim.
Okay, now for the bilingual students. Bilingual students, can you please answer what is the goal of SDG 13?
I think our teachers will have a look in the chat.
Can you look in the chat, Zoom chat? Anybody answers from the Zoom chat? Let's give a try to the bilingual students, yeah? Bilingual students only. Yes, any answer from the Zoom chat?
Yeah, I think someone got it correct. What's their name?
Can you mention the name? Okay, come.
Saya mewakili Mark 9H to make the world more sustainable for climate change.
That is correct.
Okay, give
Congratulations.
applause.
So now let us continue on with the quiz battle. Question number 5. I am a number. My brother is me plus 1. My sister is me minus 1. Together, the three of us add up to 57. What number am I? Okay, so yeah, group 2.
Theseus group, please. Theseus group. Okay, Jetro's group.
21.
That is not yet correct. We will give the opportunity to the next one.
Jetro, do you find the answer? Jetro's group.
18.
That is not correct. Okay, so
18.
that is not correct.
Me. 19. 19.
Yes, that is correct. The answer is 19 years old.
Okay, nobody gets the answer?
The answer is 19.
Oh, 19. Oh, 19. Okay.
Alright, so right now, Group 1 and Group 2 is tied at 1 point, and Group 3 is leading with 2 points. For the next question, what is the biggest ocean in the world?
It's Pacific Ocean.
Yes, that is correct. Alright, so another point for... Okay, now make sure to raise your hand the fastest in order to have the first chance to answer. Question number 7. What is the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of Earth?
Jetro's group, do you know the answer?
9.8 meters square.
Yeah, it is 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay, so the value is 9.8, but the measure of seconds and measure of time is called meters per second squared. So it's 9.8 meters per second squared. Now for the final question. What is the value when you multiply all the digits on your phone? You can answer this quickly. Yeah, group 2.
Seus group,
No, it's not error.
Hopes group, hope. Ya, hope dulu.
0.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, so now we have group 3 with 4 points, group 2 with 2 points, and group 1 with group 2 with 3 points. Group 2 with 1 point and group 1 with 2 points. So congratulations to the winning group, group 3, and thank you so much everyone
Give
for
applause to
participating
all the
in the
teams.
quiz. All right, so can we have the prize?
Now we're going to take pictures. For all the teams, stay there. Let's take a picture. One, two, three. Okay. Let's take a picture together for all the winners. Maybe Miska could be in the middle between the students, the friends. Come forward. Okay, go back to your seats. And please give applause one more time to your friends that have been playing on the team. Okay.
And just some information for all of you here. If you do want to buy the University Blueprint book, you can go to our Instagram account at Mishka Devon and click the link on our bio. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Miska. Okay, so before you're going home, I would like to say that we really have an inspiring afternoon. We have been an inspiring afternoon today. But before we let Miska go, let's take a moment to really reflect on what we've heard today. That big dreams are built through courage, discipline, and perseverance. Mimpi yang besar itu terbuat dari keberanian, disiplin, dan ketekunan. On behalf of our whole school, atas nama seluruh keluarga besar sekolah kami SMPK 4 Penabur Jakarta, thank you so much Miska and the family, mom and dad, and the team too, for taking the time to be here with us and for sharing your story so openly. But before we close the show today, let's capture a moment together with Miska. Everyone, stay on your seat. Miska will go down and we will take a picture together. Okay, for the kids, can you please stand up and please get closer to Miska? You can get closer to her.